No, no. VP debate doesn't stand for very pathetic debate. No, it's the vice pres. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the next time you go into a convenience store, cover up. Hey, welcome to season 5, episode 21 already of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars. We are supported by Sandra's Home Healthcare, Verge Insurance, Ace Alignment, Equal Wellness Services. We go into this lovely downtown pub every single, well, not every single week, every couple of weeks. Fiddler's Poorhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your specialities at the lovely Fiddler. So come on in. You can join us for a bit of a beverage or a bite to eat or whatever. Also powered by WeeStream. This is a big day in Niagara as our first Niagara Falls University. First day of classes today. Yeah, we're going to talk to the big cheese at the big UNF on the program today. A lot of things going on. We have a pretty cool musical guest for you at the end of the program as well. And as I was alluding to out on the street when I was talking to my staffer there, probably the most incompetent potential thief to ever ply their trade here in Niagara is going to be our lead story, because Kevin and I, Kevin, by the way, Kevin Jack of WeeStream, the folks behind the technology of this show, and our executive producer, Kevin and I can't stop giggling about this. See, I can't stop. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Fill you in. Stay with us. And here we go again. It is absolutely amazing how quickly 2 weeks can pass. Now here we are, we're obviously into fall officially, it's autumn, but an absolutely beautiful day here in Niagara. I think our high temperature is going to hover somewhere around 20 degrees Celsius. In old talk, that's about 68 Fahrenheit, somewhere in that. Just an absolutely beautiful sunny day after a lot of rain last night, so you're going to have a bit of lawn to cut probably. But welcome to Fiddler's Poorhouse and Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, episode 21 of season 5. And I'm sorry, I cannot stop giggling at what has to be our lead story. And you know, you could lead with flood and famine and pestilence and all kinds of celebrities who have unfortunately passed over the past week. And you know, there's a lot of negative stuff we could start with on the program today. Great big story, like the newspaper people always used to say, if it bleeds, it leads. And well, we don't hold true to that mantra here at Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. We just think if it's cool, we drool. That's what we do. And this guy, well, I don't know if you'd call him cool, but it's a cool picture. For people that are kind of up on pop culture, one of the big animated TV shows of the past was Beavis and Butthead. Remember that? And there was a reference to a character in the show. It's Cornholio. Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Niagara's version of Cornholio attempting to rob a convenience store, and that's his disguise. That is his disguise. I was going to try to get my sweater over my head, but the hat got in it didn't work out on the street. But this man, dare we call him that, comes into a store with a knife. That's the only kind of serious part about this is he was armed. He had a knife, which makes it a whole other kind of bag of chips, you know. But Esso gas station, 1000 Ontario Road in the city of Welland, where else? For a belated robbery call for service. That's what the cops showed up for. Revealed that approximately 6:20 on the evening of September 23rd, this male suspect brandished a knife, demanded cash, and this is what he looked like when he did that. Now, after he probably started laughing, the clerk said, "Get out of here! No, get that garbage out of here!" And off he went, without money. I'm assuming with the knife, and assuming with his T-shirt back in back in place. You'll see why I'm laughing again in just a minute. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the executive producer of our program and co-founder of WeeStream.
You recognize me, Lee? Surprised with my disguise.
It's Cornholio. It's Cornholio. That's
Tell
Kevin.
who I am.
That's Kevin Jack, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
it's not, Lee. I've completely disguised my identity. Nobody can tell who I am anymore.
Oh my God.
Let's see if I can lead like you.
Oh, Kevin, that's priceless. This is going to go viral. We are now.
I think I'm that guy, Lee.
How much money did you get?
Where was I September 23rd at 6:20
I didn't get anything because the clerk asked me to leave, so I did.
Nobody can tell. Wait.
Oh man! Now
A little more.
my inner guilt-ridden self apologizes for one thing. If this gentleman is for some reason impaired, mentally or otherwise, we're making fun, I know, and I'm kind of sorry. But hey, man, you set yourself up for this, so be that as it may. You walk into a convenience store looking like that with a knife. Sorry, we're going to take our shots at you regardless. Okay, Kev, thanks. I can't look up. I can't look up or I'm not going to stop laughing. You got to...
This guy got skewered in the comments.
Oh, man.
Like, good. I mean, I put a comment down there. Can't stop laughing. I can't stop laughing.
I couldn't either. I saw it for the first time last night. I was scrolling through, hi to Nick, by the way, scrolling through Nick's Niagara 411, and that picture popped up as well. And Kevin and I were both saying today, oh, we got to lead. We got to lead with that. If it's Cools, it's drooling. Yeah, oh, my God. So...
the great Bungholio.
Damn, where's Batman? I don't know if I would have burnt Beavis holding up a convenience store for TP. Any TP for the butthole.
Hilarious. I'm sometimes, the commenters on Niagara 411 disappoint me. In this case, they did not let me down.
No, all you Niagara 411ers really stepped up for this one. Yeah, I can't read them all. You go read them.
The great Cornholio.
Oh yeah, the great Cornholio.
There you go, Big Ed. That's Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance.
Oh my!
And correctly identified him as Cornholio. Like right away, that's Cornholio.
And if you're the clerk, I'm sorry, but yes, the guy had a knife. I don't know. It could have been a butter knife, which would have made it even better. I have no idea what kind of knife it is. But
and then he just left. I demand cash. No.
No, go.
Okay.
You're too ridiculous. I'm laughing. Okay. I
Would they even
swear.
what do you do if you get this guy?
Yeah, they're not going to recognize me if I do this. With my whole bare face hanging out, as my father used to say. Oh, man. Kevin, I love this show. Oh, will you stop?
I don't know who you're talking about, Lee.
All right. Coming up on the program
Disguise my
today.
identity.
Coming up on the program today, after my severely behaviorally challenged executive producer gets back to normal, St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper is going to be joining us. This is Fire Prevention Week coming up. Starts on the 6th, runs to the 12th. We're going to be talking to Dave Upper, Fire Chief of St. Catharines, about that. In about 10 minutes, 15, whatever. Whenever he wants to come on, we're going to be talking to him. Also, this is the first day of classes for a pretty landmark organization here in Niagara, the University of Niagara Falls on Queen Street in Niagara Falls. First day of classes today. And joining us to chat about that is Dr. David Gray. He's the Provost and Vice President Academic for the University of Niagara Falls. He'll be coming up at about 1:45 or so today. Shortly after 1 o'clock, our old pal James Symons has another Toolbox fundraising initiative going on, and you can have some nice pasta. And Kevin, in his brand new polo shirt, might be emceeing that event, as I understand.
Yeah, James asked me to MC it, so I'll be there and invite everybody else to come along. Club Capri.
So dress a little bit more carefully than you did for today's show, if you don't mind. Another fundraising night for a worthwhile organization called Birchway Niagara, which we'll talk more about. Sheri Hawkins, organizer of that's coming up after 1 o'clock. And Nathan Warrener is going to play us off the stage. He's a Niagara Falls entertainer and a real estate agent in the area as well. He's going to be playing the music to play us off when we are done. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you by Gales Gas Bars, Niagara's #1 locally owned, operated for 50 plus years petroleum supplier. And we are, as always, happy to have them as a longtime key sponsor of this program. Sandra's Home Healthcare, from hospital hustle to home comfort. Sandra's Home Healthcare does it all for you. Even if it's 24/7 care, that can also be arranged, and we'll talk more about Sandra's Home Healthcare services as the day goes on. Verge Insurance Group, for all of your needs, be it home, be it health, be it car, be it life, whatever your insurance needs. Verge Insurance, another local and long-term Niagara operating business here for all of your insurance needs. They are Niagara's premier insurance broker. Also, Ace Alignment for all of your automotive needs here on North Street in St. Catharines, just off Geneva. The Little Mouse That Roared. A lot of great stuff going on there with their guys Darren and Matt, and wheel alignments, brakes and suspension and all that stuff you see on your screen. Audrey the Foot Nurse, the owner, operator, proprietor, and head honcho at Equal Wellness Services. Also, thank you very much. Just went in to see Audrey last week. My feet feels fantastic. Okay, so thank you very much to all of you people that sponsor this program. Continue to do so. Hard to believe, Kevin, we're into the 5th season, 21st version of the show for this season. And my gosh, the following is continuing to be really, really nice for the show, and we thank you for that. The Niagara 411 contributors, as well as the other folks that tune in, you that join us on the program. And of course, Kevin posts over the course of the week. He'll take individual sections of each show and post what we call, in case you missed it, ICYMI vignettes that we do. And gee, Kevin, I think we're clicking at close to 100,000 views of the last show that we did
last episode was north of 85,000.
Yeah, so we thank you for your support. We're pretty happy and we're pretty proud that we can continue to focus on Niagara for Niagarans, by Niagarans, us, and that's how the show was born. That's its genesis, and it's a pleasure to have you with us each and every couple of weeks that we do the show.
Lee, while we're on the topic, let's walk people through how you share.
I want to do that right now myself, yes.
So very simple.
So you're on Facebook, you go to Niagara 411.
There we are, you're watching us right now.
And then we refresh that, and there's the show right there. I've got it on my screen as well, so I go down here and I click on share. Boom, and then the message comes up, do you share now? Abso-flippin'-lutely. So then we go share now. Posting, and boom, now that's streaming
there you go.
on my Facebook page, and it's going to be streaming on yours, and we appreciate it if you do that, because it's not just because you're doing a favor for us. What it does is it helps widen the reach of Niagarans for Niagarans, and that's important. So, thank you very much for being here.
And Lee, I want people to get used to that share button because I think in the new year we're going to launch a contest in collaboration with a couple of local people.
Yeah.
Where we will at random choose somebody that has shared our video post and award them with all kinds of great prizes.
Yeah, we you may remember if you were with us or watched it in case you missed it show, we had the great big Niagara River Lions trophy. That's a heavy son of a gun. Had that on the program last week, so we might have some fun with the Niagara River Lions heading into their new season, and our new season as well here at Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Kevin, Jack, quite a number of things that we wanted to get to, and I know we can't for the life of us get our minds off Cornholio, but I'm afraid we have to move on. There are a couple of scams. We want to do the scams. We want to do the stolen truck.
You know what? I got this queued up. I got this queued up here. About these guys swimming down by the whirlpool.
Okay. Yes. Now this is.
And I'll queue up the scams for you because I know you want to touch on.
Yeah,
this.
But this is actually a contender for the Idiot of the Week award. It's either the guy that's Cornholio, who right now I have to tell you is a front runner, or these dudes who are. Where do you think they're swimming? They're in the whirlpool rapids. This is not a good idea. You know, just when your mom thought you were going to amount to something, you take off your clothes and you jump into the rapids with you and your significant other. Access beyond this point may result in drowning. No trespassing. Oh, hey, hun, why don't we strip down and jump into the water here? Let's do that. That'll be memorable. Right. Now, for whom will that be memorable? Will that be memorable for you, your family, the emergency measures people that come and fish you out of the water when you're in danger of drowning? Now, who exactly is that going to be memorable for? I don't know. You can vote, theoretically, for the Idiot of the Week award. You can give it to these two idiots, or you can give it to Cornholio. Now, I realize it might be a dead heat as to who wins it, but don't go in the damn water in the rapids in Niagara. Just don't do that. They look like they're having a ball, though. Kevin,
we'll give you this scam. I know there was a couple scams.
Yeah, which one is this one now you bought up? There's two of them.
This one here's the extortion scam.
Now, this is something that it's pretty smart on their part, because I don't think there are too many people that haven't maybe visited a questionable site on the internet at some point in your life experience. You've probably visited a questionable site. Everything that you do, is recorded. It's out there. It's somewhere. It's all logged down. Santa's making a list, and he's checking it twice to find out if you've been naughty or nice. And these people are saying, we caught you being naughty. So here's the extortion scam that the Niagara Regional Police are putting out there. To date, there have been 10 incidents reported, although more attempts are suspected to have occurred. To prevent further victimization, NRPS is providing the public with the extortion email. Many of the extortion emails use the same words, the only changes being your personal information. And they've attached the copy of the extortion email. And basically what they're doing is these people are telling you, we have detected some nefarious activity on your emails and in your
I can read it. I can read it verbatim here, Lee. I know it's small for you, but
it is small for me. But yeah, go ahead, do that.
It says, "Well, you've been waiting, or you've been." Oh, here we go. Well, you've been treading on thin ice with your browsing habits, clicking through those girly videos, and venturing into the darker corner of cyberspace. I actually placed a. Oh gosh, what did he say?
I can't.
A malware on a porn website, and you accessed it to watch. Know what I mean? When you were busy watching videos, your system started opening as a remote device, which allowed me to complete access to your system. And I recorded you, basically, to sum it up.
Yeah. And of course, they won't make any of this public if you give them money. Right. So, it reminds me of those old horror movies. I know who you are, and I saw what you did. Remember back in the day? I know where you are, and I saw what you did.
Yes, I know what you did last summer. A whole series of those, right?
Of course, yeah. So chances are, if you get this email, don't start sweating and getting out your checkbook or your debit card or your credit card or whatever. Chances are, it is a scam. All right, and that'll learn you that we know who you are and we saw what you did. Okay.
Yeah. Now the other scam was one that, to be honest, this is the first time I'm hearing of this scam.
Is it? I've heard
I
about
heard of it before.
Yeah, no, I've heard about this one before. I didn't know it was in Niagara. They call it a transportation or delivery scam. Now, I don't understand the delivery part of it, but the one that I do understand is, for example, somebody will get out of a cab, a taxi, and they'll walk up to someone on the street, you, and they will say, I have to pay the taxi driver for my ride. He doesn't take cash. He only takes a credit card. If I give you cash, can I use, I'll pay you cash for the fare if you pay for the fare with your credit card to the cab driver. Oh, okay. But then what happens is you give them your card to give to the cab driver, then they switch it out, and then they're gone before you know it, and they're at a banking machine or another store tapping and going crazy, running up charges and getting cash and all kinds of stuff. All right. Now, the one that I don't quite get is a car that has the pizza company sign. They'll have a Domino's roof sign on the car. Now, the scammer then approaches a potential victim claiming the driver accepts card payments, but I don't get the pizza thing. Cap, where does the pizza delivery thing come in? It just doesn't come. Maybe it's a third party person. I'm delivering a pizza in a cab, but I don't know. So, first of all, if somebody gets out with a pizza and says, I need your credit card, I think that should be a tip-off. I think that's a pretty lame part of the scam. But the one with paying the taxi driver, that's a pretty good one, because that's not an unusual thing to have happen. Although most cab drivers now will take cash as well, but some don't, I guess. Anyway, those are the two scams: the extortion scam, where people caught you being naughty, not nice, and this one where they're trying to pay off their transportation fee. So.
Now, Lee, this happened to be last night, and it's so weird the way society has changed over the years. I was coming home from Niagara Falls Council, heading to the WeeStreem headquarters on Secord. And
how many hours did that one last?
We're about 5.5 last night.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, got it in under 6 hours.
Okay, go ahead.
And it was pouring rain last night, and there's a guy walking, no umbrella, nothing. He looked like he was in his young 20s. So I was at a stoplight. I rolled down the window and asked him if he wanted a lift. And he said, yeah, sure. So he hopped in the car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what you're not supposed to do. But
you actually did that?
Yeah, I did. And the guy was so thankful. He's like, thank you. Oh my God, I was hoping somebody would stop. I made him sit in the back seat. But then I think, here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, well, there's probably less of a chance that he's the killer, like more chance that I'm the killer. And I know I'm not the killer, so there's a good chance he's not the killer. Right? These thoughts are going through my head. But all I'm trying to do is be a good Samaritan. I see a guy that's stuck out in the rain, obviously wasn't prepared. He's in his, early 20s. So I gave him a lift down around the corner. It was easily going to be another 10-minute walk for the guy. And I got him there dry. I never even got his name. He just said, hey, thanks a lot, buddy. Yep, no problem. See you later.
Wow.
I know, and I thought
That's amazing.
Right, and then I'm weighing the odds. I go, what are the chances that the random guy walking on the road is the killer? There's a better chance that I'm the killer.
Yeah, you're the homicidal maniac.
Right, and I know that I'm not.
And all of a sudden, he's in the back seat. All of a sudden, the door's locked.
Exactly.
Right? And he can't get out.
But for him, I think it was a risk worth taking.
And you're wearing a WeeStreem shirt and a Gales gas bar hat.
So easily I did. You know what I should have done? I should have pulled my shirt up like Cornholio and disguised myself.
Well, God bless you, Kevin, for doing your good deed for the day, because I can state uncategorically at this moment in time, for sure, 100%, I wouldn't have done that. I would not have done that. I'm afraid the man is already wet enough. He's probably not going to get any wetter than he already is. I wish him Godspeed to get to whatever his destination might be. But good for you. Good deed for the month, I would say. But I would suggest, Kevin, that perhaps you not do that again.
I know. But again, right? What are the chances that he's the killer? It's a better chance that the guy driving around in the car, trying to lure people into the car, is the bad guy.
All right, let me extrapolate this scenario a little bit further. Let's say this happened. Let's say this young man who's out in the rain seizes an opportunity to make it look very, very bad for this good Samaritan fellow who picks him up in his car and then gets out, takes the license plate number, and then goes to the police and reports the fact that you robbed him or assaulted him or threatened him, and you did no such thing. But you could have been in all sorts of hurt because of this. You know that.
I am going to go through my life assuming that most people are good and kind. And if I get burnt once or twice along the way, I'd rather live my life that way than think that everybody is suspicious.
But Kevin, they could be first-degree burns.
Yes.
You know.
And that's a perfect transition into our next topic, Lee.
Smooth segue. St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper is joining us right now. Chief, how are you? Were you paying any attention to that ridiculous exchange?
I was. It's just such a different world, right? I'm sure that we've all done it when we're teenagers back in the day, catching a ride with somebody, right?
I used to hitchhike. I used to pick up hitchhikers. I used to offer people, assistance. But boy, we have been, unfortunately, I think, in our society, we've been kind of conditioned to not do that anymore. It's kind of a shame, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we've regressed to that point where we're so afraid to help out somebody because of all the consequences that can happen.
Except in your world, where you are trained and educated and experienced in helping people, because you do that every single day. And for that, we thank you and your men and women in our fire departments around Niagara.
Thank you.
Man, you people do phenomenal work, and we thank you for that right off the top.
Thank you.
Fire Prevention Week coming up. October 6 to 12?
Correct.
What's the big message this year, or is that us trying to continue to get the same message across as we have for the last number of decades?
Yeah, the message, the province always picks a message out, and this year our message is smoke alarms, make them work for you. We've had a record number of fatalities back in 22. I think we're better in 23. So in 24, we're still really focused on the smoke alarm piece. Asking and making sure people have them obviously in their homes. That's a requirement by law. But also having them installed in the proper locations, making sure that they're working for them, batteries, those types of things. So the theme of this year is smoke alarms, make them work for you.
Dave, it's hard for people like me from the media to wrap our heads around that message is still so necessary, it must absolutely drive people in your profession nuts to think that we haven't got the smoke alarm message by now. Like, how do you rationalize the fact, where are we dropping the ball here?
Yeah, and the province, again, like the Office of the Fire Marshal, they've actually hosted a couple of large conferences, seminars to discuss this exact thing. Like, what are we missing? How are we having these fatalities where there's no smoke alarm in the home, where there's a non-working smoke alarm? And how can we close this gap? How can we fix it? Obviously, we don't have the answer at this point in time. Like you said, it's a bit of a head shaker. The cost to a smoke alarm is very reasonable. And to be able to just put them in your homes to protect your family and your loved ones just seems very bizarre to us that it's still a thing. We're getting, obviously, it's most of our community gets it and they understand it. It's just there's a few people there for some reason that struggle with it, and we wish we had the answer. But yeah, it's concerning.
So we have a few categories of this issue, and on the surface it seems pretty simple. You have a structure, have smoke alarms in the right place, as you said, and the right number, etc. But we've got standalone residential homes, single unit dwellings. We've got multiple unit dwellings, as in apartment buildings. Some of them are smaller, like sixplexes or something like that. Then you've got the high rises, which is another whole sack of hammers. Then you've got commercial properties as well, and there are probably others, but those are the main, like the four main categories that come to mind to me. These are all different scenarios that you and your firefighters run across every day. What do you want us to do? How do we help you help us, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I would think just being aware of where you're going in your surroundings, and we talk about our own staff about this. If you see something, say something. So if you happen to be visiting with friends and you see, hey, that smoke alarm, like I see the cover on it swinging down and there's no battery in there. Like, can we help you with that, right? So if you see something that's amiss, then say something. So often, as we were just talking about with the cab rides, right? You just put the blinders on, and you don't want to get involved. You just move on, right? And I think from a community point of view, if you're out and about and you see something, say something. If something's not right or something's missing, say, hey, there's no smoke alarms in this basement. I think there should be a smoke alarm in there. Can we help you with that?
How are our landlords doing? And I know we have a different number of categories of those as well. We have landlords of, as I said, multi-unit places. We've got landlords that have standalone properties. Kevin's one, for example. He has a property. And the expectations, do the expectations go to the landlord or do they go to the tenants?
Well, this one goes to both. The landlord obviously has an expectations to install and make sure they're in good working order.
Okay.
But the tenant also has an expectation to maintain them and keep them in order. And this is where every now and then it gets a bit tricky, where the landlord will install the smoke alarm, it's in good working condition, and then the tenant, for whatever reason, whether it's cooking or nuisance alarms happening with it, will disable it and pull the battery out. And that's where the onus is on both, right? What I would say as a tenant is if things are not compliant to what they should be, to reach out to the fire services, and we're happy to come over and make sure that things are compliant and where they need to be, and we'll work with the owner to make sure that happens. Obviously, the owners have the obligation to make sure they're there. If there's any issues with the tenant, we're happy to come with the owner and make the tenant aware that these have to remain in working condition and not to tamper with them.
Okay, so I'm watching this program right now. I'm watching this feed, and I own my house, or I live in this house, or whatever. And I'm not sure if my smoke alarms are A, if I have enough of them, and B, if they're in the right place. So I can call the fire department, and you folks will come out and help us do that?
Correct. The number, if anyone's listening, they've got a pen and paper, the number is 905-684-4311. That's to our communications center, and they will put you through to our folks in fire prevention, and we're happy to come out and make sure that, yes, you're compliant, that they're in the right spaces, and if you need a new battery, we're happy to replace the battery for you and just make sure you're safe.
Other than the smoke alarm issue, and I realize it's big, I'm not wanting to gloss over it in any way, and I don't think we have, but on any given day or in any given month, of all the calls that your department gets, or departments around Niagara in general, but we'll speak to yours because it's yours.
Right.
What do they consist of? I think people really would like to know. When we see the fire trucks or the engines around, and we pull over and they're flying by and they're going around, what are the lion's share of those calls?
Well, about 54% of our calls right now are medically related, right? So
Okay.
whether it's a cardiac issue or a trauma issue, we know that 54% of our calls are running our medical. Then after that, it kind of breaks down. We get into remote alarms. We attend to a lot of remote alarms. And then there's the rescue component for motor vehicle collisions. We do, obviously, water and boat rescue. We have the rescues for technical rope down in the gorge. Obviously, like I just said, the lion's share are medical. And then after that, we get into kind of that remote alarm and then our reported fires, room and contents and structure fires.
What is the most vulnerable part of our society? Is it still elderly people that might live alone? Is it people with young families? It just seems to me that there may be some people that aren't getting the message until it's too late.
Yeah, there's two groups that we see, and definitely our elderly. Things have changed dramatically in our culture. You know, we talked about the whole driving thing, and
Right.
picking up strangers and helping out, but like families as well, even medically related. We'll go to a medical call, and there'll be, a beautiful elderly gentleman or lady experiencing some medical issues, and can we reach out to your family? And unfortunately, in our world today, people go where the work is, and it's not uncommon for us to have somebody who's elderly and their family, oh, my daughter's in British Columbia, my son's in Ottawa, there's really no one here, right? Mm-hmm. And so they don't have the support of their family like we've had in the past. And that's one of the things we're seeing, whether it's medically related or with fires, is that there's not those support mechanisms where your son and daughter would pop in, obviously, on a regular basis and say, oh, hey, Mom, your smoke alarm, something's not, it's
Right.
chirping there, right? And maybe they can't hear it because they've got a bit of a hearing issue, because that happens to us when we get older. And so we're not getting that type of regular support with our elderly community. And the other one is our new community members. We're getting some of our immigrants that are coming in, and they come from other cultures. They're not used to how our stoves work and how our electrical systems work.
Right.
There's a language barrier, and they're not familiar, of course, with the requirements with smoke alarms. And unfortunately, we're seeing that. We had an incident not too long ago where a family came over from the Middle East, and the wife was attempting to cook on the stove, and just they're not used to that type of thing, and unfortunately, it resulted in a bit of a stove fire. And that's just, they're not used to how
Right.
things function in Canada. So those are the two big groups, I would say, is our older adults
Mm-hmm.
and our new folks to Canada.
One of the frequent type of posts we see on social media with regard to dealing with fires or kitchen fires, like you just brought up, and they happen to us because it's not like starting a barbecue or starting a backyard fire, so where there's going to be a fire, so you kind of pay attention to it. Kitchen fires, things like that, cooking fires happen when you're not expecting them to happen, and then people panic. And there have been terrible stories of people being severely injured by doing the wrong thing to try to put out a stovetop fire or an oven fire or whatever. What do we need to know? Because I'm sure that's probably pretty common in your world, unless I'm totally mistaken.
No, you're exactly right. And we've been really fortunate, and I don't want to jinx ourselves, but about several years ago, we had a string of 3 really tragic kitchen fires in a short time frame where, like you said, well-intended, trying to do the right thing, and the residents received severe burns from those fires. And it's just awful. Like, any time of trauma is no good, but burns definitely are significantly, they're awful, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, I know there's messaging, and you see the vendors are trying to sell, the fire extinguishers and other mechanisms to put the fire out. My encouragement to our community is if something catches on fire, I just beg you, walk away and just call 911. Let us handle it, because you're exactly correct. Somebody goes in there and they try to carry, the burning pot out of the house.
Yeah.
And it's all good until they get to the doorway.
And then
I'm like, yes, exactly, right? So just
because
to avoid
fire feeds on oxygen, right?
Correct. And they got to use the push bar with their elbow on the door, right?
Yeah.
And you're spilling the grease on their feet. Or they got to use their bum to try to open the door, and then they spill it down their chest, or
terrible.
All kinds of things. So just walk away from it. I know they say throw baking soda on it, put a lid on it, do all these preventative measures, but we've just seen it go wrong so many times.
Okay, Dave, give us that before we have to send you back out on the street. Give us that big that important phone number one more time.
The phone number is 905-684-4311. And Lee, if I can just give a shout out to our folks in fire prevention, kicking off Fire Prevention Week. We have an open house on October the 8th, and it's going to be from 5 till 7, and it's going to be at station number 4 on 427 Merritt Street. So again, we're kicking off our open house. Check our social media. It's going to be great. We're actually going to have a company come for the first time ever to check fire extinguishers. So if you have a fire extinguisher at home and you're wondering, does it still work? Is the date good? We're going to have a company come in and be able to check your fire extinguishers for you.
Awesome. St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper, thanks for being here again. Hopefully the message will continue to permeate a little deeper every year, every time we talk about this. And stay well, stay safe.
Thank you.
Cheers. Great work that our firefighters do. Kevin, I want to thank our sponsors once again. Gales Gas Bars Limited, our premier sponsor here for the program, have been and continue to be a huge part of our success at Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. We do appreciate it very much. Family owned and operated for 55 plus years, and no signs of stopping. 11 service stations, 4 convenience stores around Niagara. So thank you, Gales, again. A Niagara born and bred company that supports us, which is the same, and it's a little bit of kumbaya moment, but we thank you very much. Sandra's Home Healthcare, also, their slogan is where the heart is, and that pretty much sums it up. They enhance lives with tailored home health services, from personal care and medication management to specialized medical assistance and rehabilitation 24/7 if necessary. They match their personal service workers to their clients. And over the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to have Sandra and some other representatives from Ontario's healthcare community on to explain more about the service worker environment that we're operating in today. And it's becoming more and more important that we have accredited services like Sandra's to look after our loved ones. Verge Insurance Group, thank you very much. Mark Shirk, Blake Shirk and their gang, located just over here on Ontario Street in St. Catharines. Another born and bred Niagara company, been around for decades and decades and decades. Home, auto, health, life insurance needs, whatever that might be. They'll check it out, they'll work with you and find something to suit your needs. Ace Alignment, always a pleasure to have you folks along with us as well. Janice Purdy and her family operated this, from a little embryonic company way back when to what it is today, and it's still not huge, but man, they do huge work. Wheel alignments and brakes and suspension and motor vehicle inspections, etc. The two dudes you want to talk to over on North Street, just off Geneva, behind the police station, are Darren and Matt. Check them out. Ask them questions. They're pros, and they'll get you what you need and look after you. Equal Wellness Services in a small strip plaza over at 365 Vine Street in St. Catharines. Audrey Wall, the foot nurse, the proprietor and proud owner, operator, and founder of this business. Audrey the foot nurse, well known in St. Catharines, but her services now go well beyond feet. But boy, if you have foot issues, that's a place to start. 365 Vine between Scott and Carlton. WeeStream, co-founded by Kevin Jack and his partner Brandon Scram. Kevin's the founder of this program and executive producer week to week to week to week to month to year. Kevin, glad to have you here. What's WeeStream up to these days?
We're back on with fall sessions. I don't talk about this group enough. Lifelong Learning Niagara. It's a group of, I'll say, seniors in our community that want to continue to educate themselves and be exposed to education. So yesterday we were up at Trillium United Church on Linwell, and it was Karen Burke was in. She's a professor at University of Toronto, and she has developed curriculum, I think the first of its kind in Canada, all about gospel music.
All right.
So we learned about gospel music, and we were all singing. And if we have anybody watching the program that's interested in that, if you consider yourself to be an academic, Lifelong Learning Niagara, LLN, is what they like to call themselves.
All right.
Look into it, but we're well into the fall session, and we're always everywhere doing all kinds of stuff. But for this week, let's highlight that.
All right.
And coming up on the program, we're going to talk to James Symons about Toolbox Niagara. We're also going to talk to Sheri Hawkins about 80s Prom Night.
Yes.
And I just put out a call here to get Dr. David Gray back on the screen. He just turned his camera off because we want to talk about University of Niagara Falls. It's their first day of classes today.
Yeah, so we had him and lost him?
Yeah, we're back. We're good.
We're back? Okay. We had this gentleman on the program way back in March when the very first open house for the University of Niagara Falls took place down on Queen Street, and we're happy to have him back on this very big day. Dr. David Gray is the Provost and Vice President of Academic for the University of Niagara Falls. Dr. Gray, dare I call you David? Welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here. Thank you for the invitation, and yes, please do call me David.
Okay, that makes it very easy. You can call me anything you want. So, I guess grand opening. I thought I'd attended the grand opening in March. I don't know what we called that event, but I guess it was the first open house. But the grand opening was just a little while ago on September the 19th to say, hey, welcome. So, give us first of all a thumbnail sketch of your grand opening. What was the main message and the theme there?
Yeah, so you're right, Lee. We had kind of a soft opening, an open house, and we did start bringing students into two of our programs back in April. But the official grand opening or launch was a couple of weeks ago. And that was to signify the first intake of all of our programs. And so, we had the Minister of Colleges and Universities there, Minister Colin Quinn, Mayor Jim Diodati. We had Consulate Generals from 3 different countries, lots of dignitaries, and various others, and over 350 people from the local community came in and shared in that celebration. That Niagara Falls is now a university town.
Now, it's a bit of a different animal from what people might think of as a traditional, if I can use that word with air quotes, university. Explain to us what the general structure and feel of your organization is.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So, we're adding an additional choice to higher education for students. We're not here to compete with other universities. We're here to complement the choice for the learner. And because we're a new university, we're able to build a university that's for the 21st century learner. So, all of our programs are delivered through the lens of what we call the digital mindset. So all of our students, they will learn all about artificial intelligence, virtual augmented reality. We have a presence in the metaverse, because these are the skills and competencies that modern, industries and work sectors need. So, all of our students are going to learn and be competent in each of those areas. And we have flexible learning opportunities. So we're not semesterized. We do terms. So instead of 2 semesters, the student will do terms. So they study fewer courses with us at any particular time, but over 3 terms, they actually end up with more contact hours with us than if they did semesters as well. So it's all about removing barriers to education, allowing learners to learn at times that work for them, in ways that work for them as well.
Now, you do online learning as well as in-person learning, correct?
Yep, we do. Yes, we do. Yep.
How does that work? How do you put that together?
So all of our programs are delivered and available in 3 different modes. So obviously we have the face-to-face where students come to campus, but then you've already talked about the online version.
Right.
So, we also have to understand that, students are no longer just your high school leavers. There are people there that have family commitments, work commitments, and therefore can't study perhaps and come to campus on a regular basis. So we have an entire team of specialists to work to ensure that courses are delivered in an interactive way online, so that students can study in the evenings, at weekends, and fit it around their other commitments as well, whilst meeting the rigorous quality standards needed in order to gain the qualification.
We are fortunate enough to be chatting with you today on actual day 1 of your classes.
Yep.
What's the feeling around? I've been in your building, as I said, it was a number of months ago. Unfortunately, I was away when your grand opening took place, so I wasn't able to attend to that. But
Yep.
What is the feeling around the place right now and downtown Niagara Falls, Queen Street? What's the vibe like?
It's there is a buzz, so you come into the building, and obviously there are students at the help desks. They're walking to and from their classes. They're sitting in the student lounge. You drive down Queen Street, and the students are walking up and down, going to coffee shops, and having a look and exploring their new kind of landscape and environment. It's just wonderful. It's such a change already to the downtown area of Niagara Falls. I've been here since November, and I've seen businesses open up. We've got a wonderful new business just opposite, which is an Indian biryani restaurant now. But it's just wonderful to see. One of the interesting things was, when walking around the community, people would turn around and say, "When are the students coming? When are the students coming?" While they're here.
They're here now.
See a difference. Yeah.
How many in-house students would you estimate, or do you know, that you actually have at UNF?
Yeah, we have about 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so and so they're not here. They're not all here. So that's the interesting part, is everyone goes, "Oh, 1,000 students, that's an awful lot," but they're not all here all the time, right? So timetabling is done such that they come in on a particular day or a particular couple of days. So you're not going to see all 1,000 students at the same time, but we have 1,000 students enrolled, over 1,000 students enrolled with us on our programs now.
And what about residencies, David?
Yeah, so we have residences up on Lundy Lane, and so students are able to utilize that residence. That's a university managed facility.
Okay.
But we also have partnerships with community groups, and groups on our website where community members can actually register to offer a room in their house, for students as well. And so we're also seeing significant take-up of students who are coming into the community, to perhaps want to live with a family or live in a family environment. And of course, from our perspective, that's great, because it means the rent and the income is going back into the community as well.
Sure, yeah.
Lee, can I just hop in here? I put up on the screen, Dr. David, David. There is a 3D modeling, and Mayor Jim Diodati at Council last night highlighted kind of the future growth plan, which would also include some residences. And talk a little bit about what that vision is for those buildings and where would they go. Currently, you pretty much comprise all of the Hatch building.
Yep.
This new building that, again, you can't see but is on our screen.
Okay.
What is the plan? What is the long-term plan for building something like that?
Okay, so not so long ago we announced with the City Council a new building. We actually have a model of it downstairs, a physical model for our students and visitors to have a look at. It will be going on Queen Street, just down the road from us, so within walking distance of where we currently are. And those of you who know Queen Street know that there are, let's just say there's space currently down here.
Right.
It'll be 18 stories. It's a significant investment for the new university campus. 14 stories will be student accommodation, and the other 4 stories will be growth in accommodation for our academic delivery. So there'll be additional classrooms, there'll be laboratory space, and various other bits and pieces in there as well. And we are hoping to break ground on that early in the new year.
Wow, that's really positive news for an area of our community that, I mean, let's face it, it has it's seen some challenging times over the years. I, for one, used to work in a building right down Queen and St. Clair in Niagara Falls, which is just a spit away from where your facility is right now. And it was in those days, and I'm talking back in the 70s, it was fairly vibrant, but you could see the fact that the energy in the city was beginning to shift to other areas, and it's so wonderful. It's kind of close to my heart, but it's wonderful to see a vibrancy and opportunity coming to that area of the city that's been so much needed, so greatly needed for a long time. It's just super.
I'm smiling because you walk down Queen Street and the architecture of the buildings, it's just phenomenal. It's just such a people will say to you, are we walking down the same street? But it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And what's happened with many towns and cities is that a lot of our shopping has moved to the outskirts,
right.
Superstores and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the mall experience, yeah.
Yeah, so the downtown has to change. And it gets a different feel about it. And so we're committed to the downtown, and we want to ensure that, we are part of the solution, and we are able to inject some of that energy and enthusiasm and drive and at the end of the day, people into the downtown area to actually bring in and attract different types of businesses into this area.
Of course. And of course, it's the old Field of Dreams thing, build it and they will come. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, I think we're building the right thing to make that.
Yeah, Lee, I was there last night, and I'll tell you, it was a different feel. I was there in the afternoon and into the evening. The people walking around the UNF campus, it was different. I saw a lot of young people, and traditionally I haven't seen that around Queen Street. They're doing a lot of construction right in front right now, just kind of... the whole streetscape is kind of changing. This is really going to drive change in the Queen Street district for City of Niagara Falls. I wholeheartedly believe that.
David, let me let me get close to wrapping up this conversation because I know you have another commitment in about 3 minutes. So,
that's all right.
Who is this? Who should be paying attention to this? Who are the build us a typical demographic or a typical person, the ideal potential student, and I know it's a varied kind of question I'm asking you, but why should I be interested in finding out more about UNF?
Such a big question. So your initial question was who should be interested? The answer is everybody, right? So, from our perspective as a university, we want to be a community university. We want to be part of the community, right? So everybody has some kind of vested interest in us, and we want to be working with people. Our students are going to be volunteering in the community. They're going to be getting involved in clubs, societies, organizations, so there's going to be a community impact. As far as students are concerned, that's a difficult one. Our type of student that we're attracting are kind of innovative, forward-thinking. They are very, very career-minded. They know the area they want to go into. They know the skills and training they need, to be successful. And they're going to be domestic students, local students, right the way through to international students as well. But they're people who really understand that, in order to succeed nowadays, you need a different set of skills to be able to succeed.
Is it 5 streams of learning that you have there?
5 programs at the moment, yes.
And they are?
Master of Management, Master of Data Analytics, Master of Arts in Digital Media and Global Communications. And then we have an Honors Bachelor degree in Business Administration and an Honors Bachelor of Science degree in Biomedical Sciences.
Awesome. Dr. David Gray, I'm going to let you go because I know you have another commitment and we have to move on. Congratulations on this coming to fruition and on this first day of school for you. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
All right. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye. That's great, Kevin. It really is. And you know what? Months or a few years ago or whatever, I think about where you would go to cover the Niagara Council meetings, and it's about one of the only buildings left down at the that end of Queen Street there. It's crazy, but it's exciting seeing what's happening there.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm not kidding you. I was there yesterday, and there was a different feel in the air. There literally was. Mm-hmm. And I mean, right now, and I can't believe that David said there that they plan on breaking ground in the new year.
In the new year.
I mean, I thought maybe this was something that was, in a 5-year or a 10-year cycle.
An 18-story residential support based around, with the core of it being in the university. It's fabulous.
Yeah. Now,
just fabulous.
Lee, while we're kind of talking about that, and we're going to get to James here in just a second, but last night at Niagara Falls City Council, a project that is going to significantly shape the skyline of Niagara Falls was approved, and it's on the site where Oaks Hotel currently sits. And this is the rendering.
Okay.
This is the rendering of what was approved last night at City Council.
So the Oaks Hotel, that is the site, the current site of the Oaks Hotel, and Kevin brought this to us today from the meeting last night, and this is the rendering of what the plan is that was approved for that site.
This here is a parking garage. It's also going to be part of it, but kind of down the road and around the corner. And you see the streetscape here is going to be drastically different. Right now, that Oaks, which, if people are wondering, the Oaks, that's the one that directly abuts the casino parking lot in the parking garage. So it's just on the south side, and there's a big parking lot there, a ground level parking lot. Well, that's all going to be gone. They're going to bring the streetscape out, make it much more livable, much more vibrant, and then, of course, add the two giant towers.
Now, and I'm sorry, folks, but that sends a shiver down my spine. What does that remind you of? That looks like Twin Towers to me. I'm sorry, it just does. And the first time I saw that, I went, okay, wow, that's impactful in a number of ways. But now, this is predominantly, I'm assuming, residential, or is it hotel?
Oh, it's 95% hotel.
Hotel.
There are going to be some residential units in there, but it's majority of it is hotel. What's interesting is it depends on where you look, but right now, the tallest hotel in Canada is right across the road at the Hilton, which is 58 stories.
Okay.
This hotel, each of the towers is proposed to be 55 stories, which sits atop a 7-story parking garage.
So it's like 65 stories.
So it'll be 62 stories when it's all said and done.
As far as the entire structure.
Which would then become the tallest hotel in Canada.
And remember what we used to call the Seagram's Tower. As you can see it to the left there, that conical shaped building used to be the tallest thing in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, just absolutely dwarfed.
But
I mean, this is going to reshape the skyline.
No question.
And I mean, this is available online.
It just conjures up a vision to me that sends shivers down my spine. I'm sorry, it just does.
Here you go. Here's a whole kind of PowerPoint presentation with all kinds of, but the most striking of them is that image right there, that rendering.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, when you combine that with the high-rise initiatives that are going on in downtown St. Catharines, not very far from here, we got some serious building going on in Niagara, which is good news. That's awesome. So quite the structure. The Toolbox Niagara project is something that we've sort of paid attention to for the last number of years, ever since this program started, as a matter of fact. And the driving force behind Toolbox Niagara is James Symons, and he joins us again today. James, welcome back to the program. You might want to back off your picture there a little bit. Get a little further away from
There we go.
your
Yeah, duck down. Duck down.
There you are.
Yeah, duck down a little bit there, James, so we can see you.
Now we can see you. Welcome back to the show, bud.
Thank you for having me, and thank you both for what you do.
Hey, it's our pleasure, and welcome to the program. So, we need you to do two things for us. First of all, for those people that might have been living under a rock for the last number of years, I want you to tell us about what Toolbox Niagara is, and then I want you to tell us about your event you got coming up. How's that?
Oh, that would be great. We're in our 8th campaign, starting October 24th. So I got frustrated several years ago when we first started back in 2017. There was a lot going on for the men, or women at the time, and zero for the men with regards to care packages during the holiday season. So I asked friends and family if they would support a project for men that are homeless. Last year we delivered our 6,000th care package since starting. Our goal our first year was 25 care packages. We did 364. The community has just been behind us and ran with us. We put hygiene items in the bags, winter socks, a second pair of socks, toques, winter accessories, and something fun, and deliver them across the Niagara region. We've seen an increase in numbers, but when our numbers rise, the community rises. It's awesome to see the community get behind us. Unfortunately, we're a long way from where we only have 10 toolboxes to deliver. This year, we were the community boost recipient with CAA, and we've had fun with them, done a lot of events so far.
Okay. And
we will be supporting women. With the additional funding we received from CAA, we are supporting women this year as well.
Wow. And you've done. You said your original goal was 25, and you're up to what now? 6,000 or more?
We did 6,000 last year with Ted Bolt and the Bolt team. They've been our sponsors in the very beginning. Ted went with me to Selfridge Shelter, and we delivered our 6,000th care package.
All right, now talk to us about your most recent event, or the one that's coming up.
October 24th, we're kicking off in the morning at 9 a.m. at the Feulled Fire Hall, the new fire hall on McClary Drive, right off the 406 on Collier Road. We're kicking off there, our campaign. Bins are going out. Anyone who wants a bin can host a bin or host a drive. Then that night, we're welcoming the community to Club Capri. We have a new venue this year, and we're having our POS tonight. And what's great, we've teamed up with Beyond the Streets, who you guys have spoke with before, and Niagara Dream Center, and they're going to be delivering meals to those who are unsheltered. So individuals can have takeout or dine in with us. It's going to be a fun night. We're going to show a slide of the first 7 campaigns and show the history of the toolbox and enjoy a meal. And what people have been doing most recently is purchasing a meal for themselves, but they've also been thinking about those who are unsheltered. So it's going to be a fun, exciting event. $15. We're thankful for Sandra's Home Health, who's been a great partner, and she's got tickets available at her place. Tickets are available at JC Patisserie in Feulled, which has been, again, a great partner, and she really, Zara, pushed the sales last year and helped us become successful. We have people that can't go that are buying meals for the homeless, so there's a great option to feed yourself or feed others.
Now, will you have tickets at the door, or I'm assuming this is going to be a pretty popular event, so it might be a good idea to get them in advance.
We're stopping tickets 2 weeks before, 2 weeks to a week before the event, just so they have numbers and can prepare stuff. So tickets will not be available at the door. Toolbox Niagara, they can reach out to us. Sandra's Home Health, JC Patisserie, they can purchase tickets there too.
Okay. James, Kevin just posted on the screen just a couple of seconds ago about a certificate. You were awarded an honor recently, a certificate of recognition through the Niagara Impact Awards, and I just wanted to congratulate you on that publicly for the work you do, because I know it's you're a tireless worker in that regard. You're also a long-standing and dedicated employee of Costco in Niagara Falls, so a lot of people know you from there, and we see you there from time to time. But I just wanted to take a minute and congratulate you and thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you. I never did this for the awards and recognition.
No,
and
I know
said
you
to
didn't.
someone when I was recognized that I was going to leave the organization, they're like, you can't leave at a time like this. This is when you're most needed. They said, you deserve the recognition. Take it and continue to serve. Let it be an inspiration that the community's behind you, and we appreciate you. And I'm still going to serve. But I've never been one for being recognized. I was recognized by the province in June as well, city of Feulled as well, and I'm very thankful for that. But my focus is to help those that are in need.
Understood. And we know you don't. We know you don't do it for the praise, but you deserve it anyway. James Symons, thank you very much. Good luck on October 24th. Keep up the good fight. And I know we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You too, man. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. These are special people that walk among us, Kevin.
Yeah, very much so.
And
James has blown me away over the years.
Oh, I know. He's
With what I've seen him do and his endless amount of energy to give back to the community.
I know, and that's why I say, when I say tireless, I mean, I really mean it. And sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll think, well, I got some work to do, and I got to run my business, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I think, I'm feeling a little tired. And then I think about guys like that, and I think, I have no right to feel tired at all. My gosh. And now coming up as well is actually a pretty good compliment to the conversation that we just had. Sheri Hawkins is going to be joining us. You might recognize Sheri's name from mainly Niagara and here, but she's the organizer of what is called an 80s Prom Night. And it's a fundraiser as well for an organization called Birchway Niagara. She joins us now. Sheri Hawkins is in the house. Hey, Sheri, how you doing?
Hey, Lee. I'm good. How are you? It's good to finally talk to you in person. I watch the show every week, so I'm a big fan.
Well, we're more than pleased to have you here, and on the heels of our chat with James, this is a perfect segue into what you've got going on now. First of all, before we talk about the event, Sheri, talk to us about Birchway Niagara, because this is a bit of a rebranding, is it not, of this organization?
It is. Like, I'm not directly affiliated with them, but they used to be a Women's Place of South Niagara. And it's a space for people who need a place to go when they're in crisis, women with children. It's a very, very reputable and worthy organization, and we're really, really proud to be supporting it.
Okay, and this is predominantly a women's support organization, correct?
Yes, yeah, particularly for women victims of domestic abuse.
Okay, and a worthwhile cause, most definitely. Now,
absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Amy, who is the Amy Layton, she's a realtor, and this is actually her event. I'm helping to collaborate with her on it, and she's very, very closely situated with Birchway because she's been doing fundraisers for about a decade for them, raised thousands of dollars because her sister needed support from Birchway about 15 years ago, and Amy's been supporting them ever since.
Always a good motivator when you feel that kind of connection.
Absolutely. When you feel that you can relate to it yourself because you have a family member or friend who's been in crisis, it's, the next obvious step is to be the one to support.
So shout out to Amy. Thanks for getting in touch with us. So, Sheri, 80s Prom Night. Where the heck did this idea come from?
Well, as a member of the Gen X community, I myself really sort of resonate with the 80s vibe. And I know I'm not alone. We're a generation with the best music. The best, I sort of think we've got the best of both worlds because we were raised in an age where we still had, our childhood without social media, without technology. But then we are at an age where we could learn all of that fairly quickly in our early adulthood. So I kind of think we're a great generation, and I know a lot of people are nostalgic for those days, before social media, before technology, and so that's kind of what our whole vibe is.
All right. So walk us through what you want us to do. Tell us about the night. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. So Rob Burke, who is the frontman for a Doors cover band called Riders on the Storm, he's going to be a DJ. And we're going to have like song lyrics challenges. We're going to have a box where you can vote for a prom king or queen.
Okay.
There's going to be wrist corsages that you can buy. We're going to have like a spiked punch bowl. We're going to have a photo booth, but like with the balloon arch with the Polaroid camera.
Okay. Yeah.
So all the things that you would expect if you were going to prom in the 80s. So yeah, we're really, really excited about it. Rob always brings the party. Rob's phenomenal, great guy, and a wedding officiant here in Niagara Falls as well. And we're really, really pleased to be working with him because I've done events with Rob in the past, and he's a phenomenal human being. So it's going to be great.
All right, ticket prices?
$20. The ticket link is on Eventbrite, or you can get it on Mainly Niagara. And 100% of all proceeds raised are going to go to Birchway Niagara. So the organizers are not taking a cut at all. We've raised sponsorship to cover the cost of our venue, which is the Lions Club in Niagara-on-the-Lake. St. David's actually.
Yeah.
So we're really pleased to be working with them as well.
So are we dressing up like we're coming in the 80s?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not necessary, but for sure, we do have like a best dressed contest as well. So someone will win a prize for being the best dressed. So we encourage people to dress up because we do kind of want to have it be a throwback to that date and time. But it's you just come, just have fun. Really, that's all it's about is having fun and supporting a good cause at the same time. And by the way, everybody will get a swag bag that has 80s retro candy and some sunglasses and a whole bunch of little swag as well. So if you're not a member of the 80s club, but you always kind of wondered what the vibe would be, this is the event for you. And if you're nostalgic for that time of your life, then come out. It's going to be super duper fun.
The 80s were certainly an interesting decade. Those of us that could fall into that baby boomer category.
Yeah.
We're old now, but anyway, we sort of have gone through a number of transitions over the decades from the 60s through the 70s through the 80s, and when you talk about the technological advancements, really that transition, that analog to digital transition was pretty much everything that the 80s were about. The way the music was delivered, the way the music was consumed, the way the information was delivered, the way the information was consumed, from analog cursive writing to digital stuff to an incredible. I guess every generation could probably say their decade was a decade of change. But that being said, the 80s really saw some massive leaps in technology and communications in their time.
It's true. The early 90s as well. I mean, that decade right in there, it really did change the face of how we communicate. And it's interesting. And Lee, I gotta say, I'm all about the boomers, and you totally have that Walter Cronkite, old school journalist vibe. It's we need more of you people out there. Whatever you're putting out, it's a good vibe. So.
Well, thank you for that. It's very enjoyable to still be, as they say, on this side of the grass. Sheri and which to some people say, why do you keep waking up in the grass? But that's another whole story. Sheri, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you speaking on behalf of Amy. Thank her for
it's my pleasure.
For organizing the event. Good luck with the 80s prom night, and people can find out a lot more about Birchway Niagara by checking it out online, because it is it is a long-standing service organization in Niagara, but with a new name. So learn more about it.
Yes,
and
absolutely. And if I can speak to that, you can also donate to them directly online through their website. So even if you can't make our event, or if you want to like purchase a ticket but can't come, any support, monetary or volunteer, is greatly appreciated. And if I can also just say hi to my friend Kevin, I gotta give Kevin a shout out. So Kevin, back when during COVID, Kevin actually worked with me on an event called WeeStream Niagara.
Yes.
And it was like 10 days after COVID broke out. Everybody was canceled their tours. All of a sudden, we had all of Niagara's best musicians sitting at home. We put together a 2-hour concert, everybody playing from their living rooms. And then that turned into WeeStream Niagara, which he actually put on a show every night for months just to provide a community outreach. He did a telethon where he ran programming all day, raised money for community care.
I remember.
Never got paid a dime, never really got the kudos that I think he deserves. And I gotta shout him out, because Kevin Jack is friggin' awesome. So Kevin, buddy,
yes,
I just want to say hi and appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Sheri. I appreciate that. Thank you. Honestly, no, that's real nice of you to say.
And
it's true, though, man. It's true.
I
know how hard you worked during those months during COVID.
He
really did.
WeeStream Niagara was the genesis of this program as well. We were one of the shows that at Kevin's invitation. I said, I'll host something and we'll see how it goes. And here we are today. So
I love it. I'd love to see the evolution of it.
I'm glad you brought that up, Sheri. Thank you for your kudos. It's well deserved.
Yeah, thank you, Sheri.
It is.
Yeah, thank you for being a champion of this medium and this format.
Thanks.
Of course, it's entirely my pleasure. Always a champion of you, Kevin, and you as well, Lee. I hope you have a great day.
Well, we got to get Kevin a new hat now, because this one doesn't fit anymore. Thanks,
His
Sheri.
head's getting too big.
Thanks, Sheri.
Bye.
Bye. Well done, Kevin, and well deserved. It would have felt maybe disingenuous if I'd said all those nice things about you, but coming from a third party, there you go. Good job.
Yeah, I know. Sheri, I just hope that check clears. Yes,
good job. And all of our other supporters as well. And you know what? Gales Gas Bars, Sanders Home Healthcare, Virgin Insurance Group, ACE Alignment, Equal Wellness Services. We've talked about them on the program. We'll continue to talk about them in weeks to come. And it's so much appreciated that they support us. The affiliation with Niagara 411, we're not the same entity, but we do share resources. We share commenters, as you've seen. And of course, we run on the coattails of Nick, and one of the hardest working men in media. Thank you very much. Hi to Nick's mom, by the way. And Kevin, one of the things that I did want to mention as well with regard to this program is the fact that when Sheri mentioned COVID, et cetera, and a lot of things died during COVID. A lot of things were forever changed. And a lot of things were born and bred and grew out of COVID. WeeStream, as Canada's premier streaming company, was fairly young when COVID hit, just starting to get its feet underneath itself, to put it another way, and then the world turned upside down. So people like Kevin and his partner Brendan Scram were forced into a situation of having to reinvent themselves, or at least put food on the table and keep the lights on, and have done an exemplary job of doing that, and is one of one of the companies that took a hard hit, but came back stronger than ever, and you deserve kudos for that.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much. Before we go, sorry, I just feel like I'm having accolades dumped on me here.
Yeah,
so
well, that's the last.
change.
I'm not going to say anything more nice about you for the rest of the day.
Topic. And just before we go, we've got music coming up from, who's the gentleman again? Noah Warner?
No, Nathan Warner.
Nathan Warner, Niagara
Yes.
Falls musician.
Yeah.
I'm going to hear one of his songs.
A song called Paradise.
I want to share from you and talk about Paradise. I know there's a lot of snowbirds that are looking forward to the winter months, including
yes.
my parents.
Gotta look
And
at this.
My parents always go to a part of Florida on the Gulf side, and you see it listed there, Indian Shores. So kind of west of Orlando. It's probably 20 minutes south of Clearwater.
Yeah, and it's, like north of Sarasota, yeah.
They just absolutely got hammered with
Hurricane Helene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just rolled through, and some of the images that are coming out of there. I mean,
Yeah, I wanted Kevin to show these pictures because this is where he and his family would vacation for a few weeks.
right there,
in
Indian Shores, right
Florida.
along that beach, right? I mean, right there, they're right on the Gulf.
So this will bring home to you the very personal experience of people. Now, imagine this is the place that you go to for your winter vacation for a few weeks.
And
Look,
this
look.
is it's a timeshare. I mean, there you go. That's part of the coping from the pool. I mean,
at that.
just my parents are planning as of now to spend 8 weeks in there. January, February, and I don't know if it's going to happen.
Well, you said you booked some flights.
yeah,
to
our
go down
family's
there.
already booked our flights. We're planning to go for a week in February, as we do every year. And here, I'll show you the unit that we're supposed to stay in. And we'll get to that. I mean, there you go. That there is where we're going to stay, I guess, in February.
That's where you would have been.
I don't think it's happening.
Wow.
And you see the sandbags.
That brings
got
it up
pushed.
close and personal, doesn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, I saw Wayne Kretz. He goes to, but he's the owner of Manhattan's, and he vacations in the same area. He's down there now, I think, just helping out.
My friends and I, and acquaintances, whoever, often talk about the fact that we are well and truly blessed living where we live, because we are not victims of such extreme weather events as that, as so many places have been. And then it went from there up the East Coast. North Carolina's in the shambles. South Carolina's not much better. Virginia it hit. Louisiana got hit with some more flooding. That's the last thing Louisiana needs. But yes, we get some violent storms. We get some power outages. We have our issues from time to time, but nothing that would compare to that. And that's just one spot
That's the thing.
in the landfall.
You start about you talk about the rebuilding process, and then all the other government agencies that would need to be involved just to give you approval to go back into these places and go. There's got to be 1,000 properties.
Fascinating.
There's just not enough resources to go around. So I mean, they'll always build back bigger and better. That's what we do. But I know there's a lot of people that were planning to go to Florida that are scrambling trying to make other plans.
I'm glad you weren't there at the time. We're running out of time, but I do want to make one personal note here. Over the last little while, one of Niagara's longest serving public servants has left office and has decided to finally, deservedly so, retire from public office. And I'm referring to Wayne Thompson. Mr. Thompson served for many, many years in Niagara Falls as a counselor, as a mayor, couple of terms. Just stepped back from his role as a city councilor for the city of Niagara Falls. Wayne and I go back a long, long way. Back in his early days of one of his first terms, if not his very first term as mayor, we served on some volunteer committees together. back in the days when there was Miss Niagara Hospitality, if you remember those days, and Miss Teen Niagara. We served as co-judges at those events. He is a great Niagaran, has been for many, many years, served as head of the Niagara Tourism Board for a long, long time, or Niagara Tourism Organization. I'm probably getting the group wrong, but he knows, and you know as well. His seat is deservedly so being occupied going forward by Chris Dabrowski, who is also a friend of Niagara and a friend of this program. So we wish newly minted Councillor Chris Dabrowski a successful term. Welcome to the round table or the circular table, whatever they call it there. But I did want to thank publicly Wayne Thompson for his service.
Yeah, well said, Lee. And I just want to throw in there, and I'm trying to find the info online, but I believe there is kind of a drop-in thank you celebratory type event coming up this weekend. I want to say on Sunday, so if people want to go down and say hi to Wayne, and like you did, just thank him for all of his years of service
when I left
for the city of Niagara Falls. I mean, he has his fingerprints all over that, all over that city.
I was on the air for a number of years, a long time ago at CJRN Radio in Niagara Falls, and when I left there, it was 1981, and there was a bit of a goodbye gathering for me. I was heading to Kingston at the time, and Wayne was kind enough. He was serving mayor at the time. He was kind enough to send a gift to me, which is a set of wooden bookends with the City of Niagara Falls crest on either end of the bookends. And he didn't have to do that, but he did. And it was interesting man. So enjoy your retirement, Wayne. You've definitely earned it. Coming up to play us off the stage here of episode 21 in Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry is Nathan Warrener. It's a song called Paradise. He also is from Niagara Falls. Enjoy. Thank you to all the folks that joined us today. Kevin, I'm not going to say anything more nice about you. You've had enough. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers.
Angel of sand, follow me down to the ocean tide where there's nothing for us to hide. All on the pier side, the faces they all walk by, and there's love shining in your eye. Angel of sunshine, casting a beam of amazing glow where there's so much I would like you to know. The heat makes me dizzy, but you're lying next to me, and your hair is softer than the sea. Only you and paradise and me. All the sounds I hear echo freedom with the breeze. I'm as close to you as sky is to the sea. I feel my life has just begun. I love you more than anyone. I can feel your heart. Can you hear mine too? Lays in a hammock, swinging on two palm trees, and the birds above my head fly so free. On the horizon, the sun's waving us goodbye. I taste your tears beautifully you cry. Only you and me in paradise. All the sounds I hear echo freedom with the breeze. I'm as close to you as sky is to the sea. I feel my life has just begun. I love you more than anyone. I can feel your heart. Can you hear mine too?